Well, hi, it's Greg coming here from Good News for Israel. I'm glad you could join me for Take 5 and Salah. It's a time just to set aside a few minutes for the Lord every day and just think on Him. And I'd like to help you through that process with some fantastic insights into the Word of God. And today we're looking at number 13 in this series. So they came to the land of Canaan. In Genesis chapter 12 and verse 4 to 6, we read, So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Then Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the people whom they'd acquired in Haran, and they departed to go to the land of Canaan. So they came to the land of Canaan. This is a great narrative. Abraham obeyed the Lord. Thank God that he did. This was not an easy task, but was filled with the voice and the promise of God. And he took his immediate family, his servants' possessions, and along with his nephew Lot and his family and their possessions, and left really into the unknown. The unknown today became his inheritance, and the known later. So he didn't know it at the time, but eventually it would become known to him. He may not have ever known much about the land of Canaan, apart from what the travellers, weary from their travellers, reported as they passed through his tents in Haran. He may have never heard of the name Shechem, or Bethel, or Hebron, but one day they would become his homes and his altars, and eventually the home of the nation that God had promised him. So is it really any surprise that the Jewish people see this very tract of land as important? And when bodies of people like the United Nations or European Union, who are really in the scale of time of this earth, the new kids on the block, try to tell the Jewish people that they have no inheritance there, and actually try to bully them out of it and give it away, is it really a surprise to see them defending it? They're actually bound by a covenant made to their forefather Abram. And it was a covenant, no ordinary covenant, it was a covenant made by God himself. So if you are one who has entertained the thought that Israel should not be in the land, then perhaps have a rethink. The God who promised the land to Abram is ensuring that this land is owned and occupied by his physical descendants. In Australia, where I'm from, we will use this term, blind Freddy can see this. So in James chapter 4 verse 4, it says, Do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Whoever therefore wants to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. And the dictionary definition of enmity is feeling or condition of hostility or hatred, ill will or animosity or antagonism. And if there's one person we don't want to hate or antagonize or be hostile to, it is the Lord. Not only because he's a loving Father, but because he's also powerful to move people out of the way to see his will accomplished. And I don't want to be one of those ones that he has to move out of the way. Alternatively, if we move onto God's side of the equation, even if we don't fully understand it, and we agree with what he's doing in the land at this time, defend the Jewish people in their bid to occupy and live peaceably in the land, and yes, even in the mountains of Samaria, or what's called the settlements, which the Lord promised them, then we're in agreement with God and can expect his blessing as he has promised. Naturally, we're in no way supporting unethical or immoral or illegal behaviour by Jewish people or anybody. And in all of these things, we're called to love everybody, including the Palestinian people and all people, with the love of Jesus. Are you at enmity with the Lord? Are you hateful or antagonizing and hostile or opposing God as an enemy, even inadvertently, when it comes to the nation of Israel and the Jewish people? Or are you on the Lord's side when it comes to Israel and the Jewish people? That's worth pausing and considering. Well, that's it from me. The Lord bless you, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.